So these artists, they're getting in the ass because that's their ritual. That's their rite of passage to get to the next level.
They raped this nigga. They raped this nigga. Videotape it. Then when he in the meeting, they give him a shitty contract. They play the video of him getting by like 3 niggas.
Everybody in the music industry that you see that's successful is a homosexual.
Chris Brown has finally spoken out, and his courtroom revelations about Diddy are sending shockwaves through the entertainment world. After years of silence, Chris is now shedding light on disturbing encounters and past dealings with the embattled music mogul, allegations that could further unravel Diddy's already
everything that's going on with Diddy right now.
It's just not okay. And, you know, when somebody is around somebody and we're counting on them to be one of our leaders in a space that we're all trying to get to, that's not acceptable to do. And it's not okay. I mean, it might be forgivable in the sense of a spiritual realm of life, or forgive everybody, but it's unforgettable. And that's where you just draw the line on friendship and hanging out and supporting and being cool. It's like, niggas, it's done, you know, and that's it.
Yeah, that video was out of pocket, man. It should never get to that point where you stumping a female, man.
It's not okay, man. And it's not something that niggas can just take lightly, you know? Cannot do that. Not okay. Niggas is not cool. Period.
You knowing Diddy personally, was you surprised when you seen that video?
Heartbreaking and shameful. And unacceptable. I've never seen nothing like that. I've never seen nothing like that in the history of my life. So that's a new for me. I don't know what kind of demon you are, but you know, somebody need to motherfucking form an exorcism fast.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, I'm still in disbelief about what I seen. To see him kicking her like that, man. Yeah, that was crazy, man.
There's no place in that. And for somebody like me or anybody to say what I'm saying, they better not have had something like that happen. You get what I'm saying? Because now they even put their whole self at risk with being honest. You know what I'm saying? It's like people watch these reality shows and you see certain people arguing and shit get a little tense, right, on reality, but there's a certain level of where you don't go. You get what I'm saying? And this and that just do not go together. It just doesn't. You can't compare this of, you know, a back and forth verbal, whatever it is, in a sense of having a disagreement, right? And even getting too loud at this point is not even okay. But that is way on another page of somebody yelling or screaming. That's not humane.
You think it's over for him?
It's not about that. It's just about, you know, life in this industry goes on without certain people because their membership club is revoked. Their membership in the club is revoked. It's over. So you don't have room to make mistakes like that in the big club. You can't do that. You can't. It's inexcusable.
What you mean by that when you say his membership is revoked?
Meaning, if you threw a party tonight, the people on your invitation list, Fat Club, the people that throw a party tomorrow for a foundation, for be anything that has substance to it, right? It's no longer available for certain people to be invited to or welcome.
Chris claims Diddy used his industry power to control him, saying he wasn't just a mentor, but someone who took advantage of his talent and personal struggles to serve his own goals. Want even more casual or stripped down?
Hear about the latest news with Homeland Security about how they removed a whole lot of electronics from Diddy house? You heard about that?
Bruh, they rich. They're gonna have a lot of electronics. They're gonna have a lot of laptops. They're gonna have a lot of computer stuff around there. A lot of times, people gotta be smart. You cannot hide anything on no laptop. So if they was that dumb to put any videos or anything on any of those type of electronics, you understand? It's gonna come to the forefront. Now, what they're looking for, because it was going on the premises of sex trafficking, they're looking for pictures of girls that may appear to be underage in a sexual context. Like they in a sexual act. That's what they're looking for. So now they're gonna go through all those devices. If somebody got any kind of weird fetishes that they got little kids or little girls or something like that in any kind of pictures or any kind of photos that they took out of there, then unless that individual was in the picture, who do you charge? Because the houses wasn't in his name. They was in companies' names that they could say all people had all kinds of access to them. Unless somebody testify that that's Diddy's room, nobody goes in that room but him. You understand what I'm saying? That's when they get the help to come in, the maid to come in, you understand? Or the people who work there, yo, where's Mr. Combs' room? Oh, that's Mr. Combs' room. You understand what I'm saying? That's Mr. Combs' room. He only want anybody allowed in that room? Yo, not unless Mr. Combs is there. They get those people to testify. But when they got a big ass mansion like that belongs to studios or Bad Boy Films and his daughter and stuff like that, they charge the person who the house is in their name. Would he be the type of person that let his daughters know take those type of crimes? We'll see.
Yeah, that would be messed up if he let his kids take the charges. But they also reporting that, Homeland Security, when they raided Diddy, they was looking for the footage that Diddy was using to blackmail celebrities. How you feel about that?
Well, you got to look at this. They looking for anything. It's not just Lil Rob lawsuit, the blackmail stuff. Like, they can't do that. They said that it was for, they went in there on the premises that it was for sex trafficking and underage minors in there. So now, if everything is being taped and he's taping people doing this and they find it in their house, they got to bring the tapes back to him. They got to make sure that he's the one walking around with the video camera. If he's, you understand what I'm saying? They got to prove that. And then they got to have people to come in and say that he did that. They saw him with the video camera, like Lil Rob said. He used to tape him on the phone and all that stuff like that. Maybe he had burnouts or something like that. We don't know. But when they do that raid, they ain't just looking for pictures. Whatever they find drugs, it goes to the DEA case. If they went down in a wine cellar and they found cases of Sir Cock with cocaine in it, coca in it, they're gonna get that to the DEA. They found a lot of guns and stuff like that, that's ATF. A lot of different agencies can get involved just on going on there on the sex trafficking case. It's whatever they find in there, bro. They're not just gonna limit themselves to that one thing once they got the search warrant to go in.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. How you feel about the people that feel the type of way that, you know, Diddy, he wasn't there when his kids got arrested? I think 50, he even, you know, made a comment about it saying that, you know, Diddy, he got his kids in the bullshit now.
I believe he was a coward. There's no way he should have let that happen to his kids. I believe he knew what was going down, and he probably thought they wasn't gonna do that to the kids, but they did. They wanted to be gangsters. Lil Combs did, so now you're a gangster.
So you feel like Diddy, he already got a heads up, and that's the reason why he wasn't.
Chris Brown speaking out against Diddy in court marks more than just music industry drama. It's a major turning point, especially given how it ties back to Chris' own troubled past, including the highly publicized incident with Rihanna. Would you like to keep that connection subtle or explore it more directly?
In the NBA Celebrity All-Star game, then he got uninvited in the last minute. You heard about that?
Yeah, they need to leave Chris Brown. That's a fucking shame. Now, how many niggas that had domestic violence cases in the industry that swept under the rug? Like, bro, I hate what they do to Chris Brown.
Right, 'cause this was what?
He's next under Michael, bro. As far as performing, as far as, bro, Chris Brown is that nigga. Bro, Chris Brown is a bad motherfucker.
You put Chris Brown above Usher?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see the argument for it.
Yeah.
You put Chris Brown above R. Kelly?
Performance.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, performance.
Yeah, R. Kelly doesn't dance.
R. Kelly, they just lick his tongue. And lick the towel.
Well, yeah. I mean, Suge Knight actually talked about it. He basically said, you know, there's a double standard where they're not forgiving Chris Brown, but they let Dr. Dre do the Super Bowl. And Dr. Dre beat up D. Barnes back in the day. You know about that, right?
I mean, I've heard. I heard.
He beat up a TV host named D. Barnes. It's a real thing.
I learned from your interviews, all this shit. That's, you know, when I watch you, I hear all the Dre
it's a real
stories.
thing. She actually, I mean, when he did a documentary, he even brought her on to talk about it. Some real shit. It's not some made up
double
shit.
standards, bro. Like, bro.
Well, but I think like also, really, you know, really what did it for Chris Brown was the photo.
Yeah.
There's no photo of D. Barnes beat up.
Yeah.
And when you look at a lot of these other domestic violence situations, there's no photos. That photo was ugly. Like both of her eyes were essentially, you know, swollen up. Had that photo not come out, I think that nothing would have happened at all. I think he'd be at a Michael Jackson level potentially right now. But that photo will you know, that photo was a motherfucker. And look, I interviewed an investigator who was on that case on Chris Brown's defense team, and he basically said that Chris Brown was attacked first by Rihanna.
When they stopped her and took her in because of her injuries, you know, Chris had injuries, but they weren't seen for several days.
Okay, because the story was that she was beating him up as well.
Yes.
How bad did she beat him up?
I haven't looked at the pictures, but I have his pictures in my file at home.
So he had bruises and scratches?
He had markings, you know, again, he's kind of I don't want to say a tough guy, but he's not a 90-pound weakling.
Right, but Rihanna's actually pretty big also. She's like my height. I met her before.
And it's a confined area. They were fighting in the front of, the only part of this rented Lamborghini.
Right.
And, you know, again, just back and forth. Now, according to Chris, she started it and he was defending himself and kept telling her to stop and stop and stop. And I get it. And, you know, but the police, again, it's the same thing we talked about before. They arrest first and investigate later. And she had markings on her and Chris left the scene.
She put, you know, people need to stop like saying that this doesn't happen. A lot of times the girl is the aggressor.
Right, a lot of times you gotta get a bitch off.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna have the black guy.
Exactly.
They got some bitches that punch the shit out you.
No, Chris Brown had marks on him as well.
They got a bitch that punch the shit out you.
Oh yeah.
You let Christian Rock punch on your motherfucking ass.
Yeah.
Boy, your ass gonna look like you been in the room with Mike Tyson.
Have you ever been around Rihanna?
Nah.
Rihanna's big. She's bigger than you.
I was at a game one time when
I interviewed her back in the day. She was with heels. She was my height, and I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
And she's big framed. She's
Yeah.
not a dainty little girl.
Yeah.
Rihanna could beat up some men.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, bro. I feel that.
You know, so now it's up to the man to respond in a minimal way. I understand it,
right.
but you know, like for example, I interviewed Roger Bonds, right? He used to be Puffy's bodyguard.
Right.
And he told me flat out that he'd be in the car with Puffy and Cassie, and Cassie would just smack the shit in his face. And smack Puffy in his face. And then he would jump in the back seat and they would start tussling and he'd have to roll up the windows and people would be watching. Not that I'm saying that that's right by Puffy's, you know, I mean, you mind your business and a girl punches you in the face.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes you just react.
In relationships, all that, you gonna have them feisty type of women who, you know, they gonna do it. It happened to me a couple times, bro.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 times, different women.
Yeah.
You just gotta know how to, you know, not inflict harm on them too much, but you gotta know that, that little restraint move.
Yeah.
Sit your motherfucking ass down.
And you have to take a step back.
Yeah,
and
you ain't gotta punch him and do all that. You gotta put him in that motherfucking boosie.
Right. I've been in fucked up situations too.
Yeah, man.
But
a woman will fuck you up, man. A woman will.
Right. But you do have to realize at some point that unless the woman has a weapon of some sort, they really can't do that much damage to you. Not like a man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they might maybe bruise your eye a little bit, but they can't like knock you out. They can't knock a tooth out.
Right.
You know, so you have to kind of take that into account. But as a human being, sometimes when you get attacked, you don't even think about what happens next. You just react.
Right.
And then,
I don't agree with it, man. I used to get on one of my cousins' ass, bro. Like, he'll beat him. Bro. His bitch get out of line. He go put Timberland boots on.
Yeah.
Chris Brown now says Diddy didn't just control his career, he helped create a toxic environment that pushed him toward bad choices. While Chris owns up to his past mistakes, he's calling out Diddy's influence as a major part of the chaos that led there. Want it trimmed down even more or adjusted for a specific format?
Says you sound like a baby. Anywhere. Yeah, no.
From what I heard, he sounded like a baby when he was begging for money from Lucien Grange. You know, everybody's forgetting how he sat there and slut-shamed the shit out of Ashanti. And then talked about that music and then bragged about how he sold all of their mother publishing rights to that weirdo vampire, Lucien Grange. And he sat there, I don't have to worry about BET because, you know, see, I know people like Lucien Grange. So did Diddy. Did he you too? Like, it's just...
Man.
I wouldn't be bragging. I said that. When he did the Drink Champs, I said it. That's not a flex. Bragging about Lucien Grange hooking you up don't look so good right now, do it? That ain't aging all that well. Because everybody know that Lucien has been Diddy and Sean Carter. They sugar babies. So what the you? I'm just curious. With the Diddy doo-wop and the bop. All I can say is this. When you're used to giving you all kinds of affection and and then you don't become as popular as you get older, you still expect for people to treat you the way they treated you when you was really popping. You want to accept they ain't popping like that no more. They used to the girls, yo, let me just suck my baby. Oh yeah. And that is like, well, I don't really feel like it. He said it looking like 5 years ago, bitch, you been on your knee.
Yeah.
You know. Now you got ego involved. Now if he has to ask more than 3 or 4 times, and you throw a little cocaine in there, and you throw a little alcohol in there, and you throw a DMX video in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want my sloppy toppy, I want it now.
Okay.
I tell you one thing, y'all need to stop forcing to suck your dick. It's just not cute. If you gotta force a bitch to do it, then your dick is probably just not very suckable. Which means you was always paying for it, whether they were asking or you were just leaving it on the nightstand. Like, there's so much prostitution threaded through all of this entertainment industry that's covered with, oh, well, that's what you have to do to make the boss happy, or that's how you get the, no, it's prostitution. It's, all of this transactional.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't believe people want to believe the Tank is straight. How is he any different than any other down low church boy anyone's ever met? Number one, people are forgetting this is another bite-sized hero. Tank is only about 5'5". You know? Like they gotta think about that. Would you really be lusting over that the camera play wasn't so dope? Would you really be thinking that everything at 5'5"? Like, you can never wear heels with him. Or just, you know, get the, are you sure he ain't in the you know what I'm saying? Like,
so I have to ask, because, you know, that's like almost like a Napoleon complex when you.
Oh, definitely.
So what would you call, like, what Chris Brown has? He comes to Dallas and allegedly he swings off on.
He came to Fort Worth.
Yeah. I don't know where they were at.
County is not Dallas.
Yeah, I don't even know where they were at. He was in Texas somewhere. And
he's
now
over there, Funky Town.
Yeah, now he's hit with a lawsuit of whooping ass.
Whose ass? Like, I'm still trying to understand the details.
Yeah, somebody from his past who maybe threw up a C versus a B. I don't know.
It sounds like they were just looking for something else, because ever since I started exposing that maybe Rihanna was trafficked and used as the Megan Thee Stallion to take down Chris Brown, like they used Megan Thee Stallion to take down Tory Lanez, maybe they just gotta find something else to with him.
Yeah. And you gave him his flowers last interview, and now
I wish I could give him a break.
Yeah. Let me ask
He's the f***ing best of his generation. He is the best. Why is Usher getting lifetime fucking achievement awards for keeping secrets and getting his ass batarang? Like, I don't understand. These aren't this is not an achievement. Like, this is not a lifetime. What is your lifetime? Your lifetime is getting by Diddy and everybody else. Your lifetime is knowing that little boy drowned out there, and you didn't want to say anything because they're holding you hostage with all the shit she knew about you. You ain't even give a that kid. Like, I'm just tired. Let's go through Usher. Let's get that done. Why the Donald Glover gotta stand there and say, why am I not black enough to have more fucking BET awards than Sam Smith? How Sam Smith got the same amount of awards as me and he ain't no.
Yeah, he said it. Think about it.
Now he's retiring. And that's crazy, because that year when This Is America and all that was blowing out, y'all remember the way Jamie Foxx was staring at his print on stage? Jamie was staring little Gambino up. He wanted that. Oh, you didn't remember? Yeah. When he came up there, he was like, I had to meet you in person. I heard. Oh yeah. Looking at him just like he look at Tank. Y'all don't remember? It was zesty as Y'all don't remember?
I don't recall.
Chris is now calling out Diddy in court, demanding justice for how he was treated. This could be the turning point that encourages more artists to speak up and sparks a wave of new legal trouble for Diddy. Would you like this style more like a news headline or social